Welcome to my channel. Greetings, everyone. This is Q, man. I hope everyone is doing well. I am in Boca Chica, the Dominican Republic, which is south. Many of you guys are more familiar with Sosua, Puerto Plata, Santiago, all those places. Because I'm in Boca Chica. I recently achieved 1 year of being here without leaving, guys. It's hurricane season, and the other day I made a video and I misquoted that hurricane that we were experiencing Hurricane Grace, but I got respectfully corrected by one of the family members. He said it wasn't a hurricane. It was a I remember what he called it, but it slipped my mind. But basically a storm. A severe weather storm. I forgot exactly what it called, but that's why it's mostly like rain and thunder. So guys, high today of it's currently 77 degrees. High today of only 82. No sun today. It rained all day. Guys, I was out in the rain. After I left the gym, I was in the rain. I had to go to the bank. The banks was closed, guys. So that's how I get my money. I go to the bank. I don't use ATMs, but today I had to search for ATM. And all the ATMs in this city have been empty since Saturday. So this is a lesson, guys. If you move abroad, never run out of money because you never know when there's going to be any type of emergency. So today is a holiday. That's why I couldn't do my normal process of going into the bank and getting money out, which is the cheapest method right now because I don't have a bank account. So, guys, what we're going to talk about today is um, Afghanistan, guys. I'm quite happy that we left and are leaving, guys. And I pray for the safety of everyone over there. And I don't want to offend anyone who has friends or family that remain over there from Afghanistan. I don't wish any harm on any of those people. So the things that I say going forward, guys, I don't want anyone to be offended. This is my opinion, and you go understand why I feel how I feel. The first point is, guys, we've been there too long. Okay, we've been there too long, and I'm gonna compare it to raising your children. You've got your children for 20 years. You've got 20 years to develop your children to stand on their own feet and leave the house. You teach them how to be courteous, respect, how to work hard, how to clean, how to cook, and just how to save money, how to spend money. You teach them how to operate so that after 20 years, they can leave your house and go be productive. That's exactly how I feel about Afghanistan. The Af- their army and their government has been trained by us for almost 20 years. After 20 years of being trained by the best Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marines, you can't protect your own country. You have an army, but your army, after being trained for 20 years, can't fight. As soon as we pick up and leave, you're no longer able to fight these people. I mean, the second we leave, 80% of the country is now overran. Does that make any sense to anybody? Most of the government leaders have left. Does that make any sense to anybody, man? It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. Too many Americans have died, military personnel. I never went to Afghanistan, but I deployed to Honduras, Kuwait, and Iraq, guys, and too many people there have died. Right now, over 2,500 people have died. American service members died. That's not counting how many government contractors has died. That's American personnel, military. Over 20,000 have been injured. Injured. Everything from amputees, no legs, no arms, permanent disabilities, never work again. Over 20,000. And what's substantial about that, guys, is unlike any other war, like Vietnam was our other longest war. And there was some situations where in a family lost two brothers, two uncles, you know, uncle and a cousin. But in this war, based on the length of it, military personnel who went there 20 years ago, their children who joined the military recently are now there. If this war didn't end, their children would still be going. So there are some families who lost men and women, fathers, mothers and fathers, who are now have lost children. Have lost children in the same family. Two different generations of people being lost in one family over 20 years. And if the war didn't end, it would be worse. It would be worse, guys. And I listened to some of the reasons why people say it's too early. Let me say this for me. Every place I've ever went, I'm down for this mission. Let's do it. But my second mission is to get home. There should never be a mission that never ends where you have no outlook of going home. There have been military personnel based on their MOS, their job, and their unit. They've been there 4, 5, 6 times. When will their luck run out? How bad do they have to get mentally and physically before we stop sending our soldiers over there? Our airmen, our Air Force, our Marines. When is enough? Now, let's talk about the money, guys. Right now, Congress is debating and fighting over this infrastructure stuff to improve America. But you can spend trillions of dollars in Afghanistan. All the problems in America, and you can spend trillions of dollars on a war that you can never win. Now, I'm talking so much. That's why, first of all, this isn't a great cigar. This isn't a good quality cigar. If it was, I could light the cigar, talk a few minutes, hit it, talk a few minutes, not hit it, let it sit, come back, and it will stay lit. But this isn't a great cigar, guys. I'm waiting on some cigars to come in the mail. They're held up in Miami. So, guys, that's why I keep lighting the cigar. Cigar. Let me explain what I mean by a war you could never win. We're not fighting against a traditional army or military. They have a leadership structure. But guys, they have an unlimited amount of personnel who just keep coming and coming and coming and coming. Most wars, how you win the war is you kill enough of the enemy to where they're no longer strong enough to fight. So they surrender and they run. That will never happen with the Taliban. The Taliban, for several different reasons, got people coming from other countries or across the border to join, to fight. One is to make money, earn money. The second thing, in Afghanistan, how they encourage people to fight, they tell them, if you don't fight, come fight with us to kill Americans. We're going to kill your family, your mama, your wife, and kids. So, regardless of how many you kill, they just keep repopulating and populating. They just keep replacing because thousands of people are coming across the border as often as they need to work and fight in that army. Yes, they are. Something else that's hard to fight, guys. It's hard to fight when you don't know the enemy, a known enemy, their uniform, their equipment, nothing. People who are the enemy are amongst you, and they dress like regular citizens in Afghanistan. Like our military, the militaries in most countries, they have a uniform. You can spot them by this, by that. No. These guys look like regular people, and you don't know who they are until they start blowing shit up and shooting. So, guys, it's a war that can never be won. Too many Americans have died. Now, let's talk about being in the military and not being in the military. When I was in the military, I didn't have an opinion. I went where they told me to go. I did what I was supposed to do, and I said nothing about it. Right now, I will admit I didn't want to be there. I went because it was my job, but I didn't want to be there. I went there, I did my job, I got my medals, I got my combat patch, I got my combat stripes. But guys, I did not want to be there. But I wouldn't have said that while I was in the military. But now that I'm out, and everyone else who has served, I bet they're on my side, unless there's some hardcore retired command sergeant major, field grade officers, lieutenant colonel and above. Some of them will say it's too early. But the regular rank and file, yeah, we want to get out of there. We want to get out of there. We want to end it, and we don't want none of our family members to go there and die. Now, I hear a lot of people talk about how we don't need to leave because Afghan women, they don't have schools for them. They can't work. Guys, unfortunately, we are not responsible for everything that goes on in everybody's country. We can't fix it. It's not our place. Why don't we talk about all the bad stuff that's happening in the African countries to people of color? Do you know? So it's dangerous for women in Afghanistan. Do you know how dangerous it is for women of color in Brazil? Brazil is one of the most dangerous countries in the world for women. Something like 3 women like every hour are killed or attacked in Brazil. So if America was fairly and equally going against countries who treat their people like shit, okay. Why not Brazil? Why not Africa? Huh? Why aren't you? Now, come on now. I see the people in the live chat. I'm going to wrap up in a minute, and I'm going to get with you. But those are my questions, man. Those are my questions, especially with everything wrong in America. Guys, when I was a kid, we had a boys and girls clubs. Wealthy people don't need those in their communities. They have a lot of stuff for their kids to do. A lot of stuff that we had at the boys and girls clubs that they took away. Wealthy people have that in their homes and in their communities. Everything that they took from us, it wasn't replaced. It gave our kids nothing to do. It gave us nothing to do. I remember in the summers, there's places we can go and get a box lunch because we was poor. Wasn't a lot of food. I remember summer jobs. So guys, I'm getting away from Afghanistan, but what I'm saying is all the money that's spent in Afghanistan, guys, all the social programs that are cut out of black and brown communities that help them live and thrive and be better, meals on wheels for the elderly. Oh, there's no money for that. Do you know why? A lot of black people in America, unless they had a family in Mississippi, Alabama, or Georgia somewhere, where you went for the summer, you can't swim. Just out the blue, all the pools left in the black communities. All the pools left. Okay? Okay, guys, I'm going to give you something that you didn't know. How many of you ever heard of food deserts? Food deserts. How many of you ever heard the term food deserts? And there are thousands of food deserts across America in black and brown communities. And this is why black and brown people are the unhealthiest people in the world, who die at a higher rate than anybody else for every other disease, who are sicker than anybody else from COVID-19. Yes, the reason why they're sicker than anybody else from COVID-19 is because they lead in all the illnesses like high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, all the bad things that kill people are things that are most affected in black and brown communities. And you know the reason for that? I just told you, food deserts. In thousands of black and brown communities, there are no grocery stores. There are no places for people of color to buy groceries, meat, fruit, and vegetables. America doesn't think that black and brown people in poor communities deserve good food. They eat at mom and pop stores, fast food, the corner stores. Sometimes you may have a Dollar Tree or one of those like a CVS that has a refrigerator section where they can get some processed and frozen foods. But there are thousands of poor black and brown communities where there are no grocery stores, where grocery stores say those people don't need good food. They're not going to buy it. And if we put a grocery store in there, they're going to steal and we're not going to make any money. It's more about stockholders. The government can spend trillions of dollars in Afghanistan, but they won't get into the grocery store business. The government has to get into the grocery store business to make black and brown people healthier, but they're not going to do it. I don't know why. Actually, I know why. When has the government done anything for black and brown people and poor people? When? The government can't make grocery. Even Walmart has went to some places and left because the stockholders wasn't making enough money. It wasn't good enough that black and brown people will have fair access to food, fruit, and vegetables. No, they weren't making a lot of money, so we got to close this place down. We don't care if not only do they have not have a grocery store in the community, they don't have transportation, nor can they afford transportation to go to another community and buy groceries. So this is why black and brown people are the least healthiest people in the world. This is why black and brown people die at a higher rate than anybody else from diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and all those other things, guys, because of the food. So we can go and spend trillions in all these other countries. Afghanistan is just one example. And we don't even have a grocery store in black and brown communities in America. So people of color can have good food choices. And guys, this is the reason why COVID-19 has impacted the black and brown community so tough, because they're already unhealthy. And guess what, guys? COVID-19 isn't that bad unless you black and brown, elderly, regardless of your race. If you're elderly, unhealthy, out of shape, eat bad, COVID-19 is bad. Because I'm none of those things. I got COVID. I had symptoms for 2 days, stayed in the house. Symptoms left after 3 days. At day 11, I went and retested and I was negative. That's not the case for people who are elderly and unhealthy. COVID-19 does not kill people. What COVID-19 does, it makes all that other stuff kill you. Your diabetes, your heart disease, your high blood pressure, all that other stuff is why you die. You don't die from COVID. They mark it as a COVID death, but you don't die from COVID-19. No healthy person dies from COVID-19. You got something else wrong with you, and COVID-19 made it critical, but you don't die from COVID-19, all right? COVID-19 is very similar to the flu. But unfortunately, when there's other stuff wrong with you, it can be terminal. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna take another crack at lighting this cheap cigar, man. And then we're gonna go into the live chat. And we'll see what everybody's talking about. Please bear with me. Like my lighter. This is my tabletop lighter. It never leaves the house. Okay, guys, I'm gonna thank everybody for joining. Dennis says 2 trillion and over 240,000 people died, and the enemy still have control of the capital. Yes. If we stayed there, it would only get worse because they're not a normal traditional military who only has so many people in their military. Thousands of people come across the border every day to join their military to earn money to fight. So yes, it'll never end. Go Travels. Yo, bro, hope all is well. All is well, sir. All is well. Dennis also says, that's all you see in black communities are fast food restaurants. No Trader Joe's, no pavilion stores for fresh vegetables, only McDonald's, Wendy's, Popeyes, chicken, etc. Also, little corner stores that makes sandwiches, fried foods, no fresh fruit and vegetables, guys. That's what's in poor black and brown communities. No grocery stores want to put a grocery store there because they say those black people ain't going to buy groceries. They wouldn't be able to make enough money for their stockholders, guys. 1247, the great one says, how's life there in the DR? It's paradise, brother. Life in the DR is paradise. Money Travel says, wow. And then he says, let's get the likes up. As always, I appreciate you guys. Yes, there's currently 14 people here, man. If I can get all 9 more of you to please smash that like button, it'll be a great help to me. That's 6. I appreciate it. So, guys, I don't like to hold people on here any longer than necessary. I beat this story in the head. I think I've done my job. I've expressed my opinion. I tried not to offend anyone or be too hard. I'm going to thank all of you guys for your support. I'm going to ask you to please continue support my channel. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Charles says, love your videos, bro. Man, how much? Hey, bro, I appreciate you, and I thank you for your support. Jinseka Tube says, they would have waited for 100 years if the U.S. was still there. They will only grow more either way. Exactly. You can't beat a non-traditional military who got freedom fighters coming from all over joining against the big bad bully. They'll never run out of people, guys. They would, no matter how many Taliban we kill, they will never run out of people. Tim says, why is it that the U.S. put more energy in helping other nations than they do their own people? Well, I think they help their own people a lot. The wealthy, the tax law, they help the wealthy every day. They don't do anything for the poor. The United States of America cares about its people, and they do a lot for their people, everybody except the poor. Who's that? Don't hate, appreciate. Michael Morton. Good evening, Q. It's 4:37 here and 7:37 there. I don't understand the real reason the U.S. went into Afghanistan anyway. I think it was the military-industrial complex generating money for themselves. Thousands of reasons, but thousands of reasons. I think the whole, man, war is big money, man. And a lot of people involved in this war, decision-making, man, they own companies that will do government contracting with the government for war. A lot of congressmen, vice presidents, ex-government people, they own companies that made a lot of money. God, there's a lot of money in war. Example, if you own a company that sells nails, you go to Home Depot, a box of nails costs $10. If you got a government contract to sell nails and you sell them 1,000 boxes of nails at $200 a box. So guys, it's a lot of money in war. Most wars are about money, guys. Because most wars, you go and conquer a country and take it over so that you can own it and have it. These wars over there, guys, it's about money. They made a lot of money. They made a lot of money. What's that female congressman's name who's a Republican, who's in Cheney? Her father owned one of the biggest government contractors over there. While he was holding the office he was holding, they made billions. Jinseka too says the U.S. needs to tax the rich and fight his own extremities. Root Machine. Have you ever thought why America is exploiting, deceiving, and prosecuting Muslims around the world? Bro, they do what they do for various reasons. They don't just mind their business. They bother everybody who don't agree with them. TM. The veterans that serve in those. Bruh, I didn't go to Afghanistan, but I served. I'm 100% disabled, and we need to get out of there. I don't want too many more people ended up like me. Second two, 4 years under Trump made pulling out successfully a hard task. I don't agree that it was a hard task. They didn't plan it, they underestimated it, and they didn't do it well. They did a poor job at pulling out. JX, you can't win against a mindset or belief. You can take their land, kill them, but never changes. It's the perfect war. Yeah, man. So no, I don't think you can. There are several countries that will always be in a war with each other. They're fighting. And what they're fighting for, their belief, you can't change that. You can't. But in this particular case, we're not fighting Afghan citizens. We're fighting the Taliban. Did we have some Afghan citizens who maybe joined or forced to join? Most of the people we have killed and are currently fighting are people who are constantly coming over the border to earn money and fight in this war. So I do agree with that. But I think this war is different because we're not just fighting Afghan citizens. They want our help. They don't want us to leave. We're not fighting them. We're fighting the Taliban. Okay, guys, we have beat this in the head. I'm going to get out of here. Please like the video. Please subscribe. I'm going to thank everybody for joining. Y'all take it easy, man. I'll holler at y'all.